Welcome, audiophile and cinephiles alike, to the Beneflicks podcast, the show where we are reaping the Beneflicks one movie at a time. I'm Liz.
I'm Tyson.
How are you doing?
We're getting dark.
Oh,
Now we're
you know
going
what?
back to
Keep
light.
keep it off.
Keep
Keep
the
it
lights off?
keep it off.
This is fucked up.
Keep it off. I really like the way that the light is silhouetted through like the
Oh, the
drapes or the blinds.
blinds.
Sorry,
Yeah.
the drapes. But how you doing this evening, man?
It's dark. It's late.
It is late. I will say maybe not the latest we've ever done things, but it is pretty late. We've been busy. Well, I'll say this past like week has been a lot different than the weeks that we've had prior in between
It's
episodes.
been stacked.
It has been stacked. I think mostly for good, but sorry, I sideswiped your answer. So you're doing well? What the
What the fuck
That
was
actually scared the
that?
shit out of me. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna scoot the chair up. Go ahead and answer before the demon Snorlax takes us.
I am good. I am busy. I have a couple more days until my day off in a while. So I am stuck in the midst of the storm, unfortunately.
Mhm.
However, I'm very thankful because my schedule isn't too egregious. I actually had a thought the other day, and I was like, although overtime is so nice, I rather work at a job that like overtime is kind of rare comparatively to like a world where I'm getting mandatory overtime. Like that's crazy.
I'm so sorry, but you don't work at a job that does overtime.
No, it's very rare. But like it's like
Really?
we can do it, but it's rare because our boss doesn't like it.
Yeah.
But like when I think about like an Amazon worker, like obviously shout out to all my Amazon workers because that's
hmm
just a field that I could not be in at all. I would
Not at
lose my
all.
mind. But
N-
like hearing about like the mandatory overtime and stuff like that's egregious.
No, I cannot honestly tell you because like my job at Starbucks is very specific. I think I might have told you this story actually. My job was my location because every store is ran by a different manager, and there's districts. And in our district, our store is very good at mitigating overlap for just extra hours that we aren't supposed to have. But when I think it's like semi-annually or maybe yearly, they do sort of like a quota of every single state, and then they go a little bit more specific. But in the state of California, our district was the number one for overuse of hours.
Huh.
And it actually goes, funny enough, to two stores that are like within 5 miles of our store, both ran by two guys named Brian. I think his name is their names are yeah, Brian.
Out there
And
shit.
100%. And I will out there shit on the specific precedent that because of their shittiness and their like you look at like their hour sheets, there was some coworker like workers getting 65 hours.
That's
Like
sick.
in unreal. And then that then requires like other leads to then swoop in, be like, okay, you need to take a step back and like we need to fix this shit. But because of that, like they were cutting us for like a month, 2 months, where like then like people would get like 15 hours, which comparatively like to the job that you work at but don't have to face as much anymore where I worked at where you'd get weeks that were like 8, 10,
Yeah,
12, which is the nature of the movie theater beast. But no, I've maybe mod, but that would have been purely off of neglect. Like it was never
sure.
like a hey, can you stay for overtime?
It was like, I know you're making free pizzas for yourself in the back, but you're also allowed to stay an extra hour.
It was a win
I
no matter
do hope
what.
those managers at Starbucks are not paying their workers.
Wait, that affects me, bro.
Oh, fuck.
I,
I think because of the nature of the movie we're talking about today, I want to get more political.
oh,
I
okay,
want to get
okay.
more.
There's
In,
always avenues for
I
that.
want to get more woke. I want to get more in the avenue. But I think that
hmm
for this episode specifically, we're going to get into two modes: a bad cop, good cop, if you will, where you're
Okay,
actually on the side of the liberal, and I'm on the
sure.
side of the beast, the Republican.
Wait,
So
so does that make
I'm
me
playing
the
a character this episode. If I
okay?
say anything, I can't be criticized or pointed at because I'm playing a character.
Okay, but you could have just said that I'm playing me, but you said I'm playing a liberal. So does that therefore mean that like because you think I'm gonna react sensitively, that you're gonna
Yeah,
be like angry?
bitch.
You got it. I'm sorry. You're right. I'm so
How
sorry.
was your time? How's your time been?
I mean, for anyone obviously outside of like maybe my partner and some friends of ours that may be
Me,
tuning in, yeah, or you and the different alters in your head listening to the episode,
bitch.
um, I'm sorry. We actually celebrated more so my partner and your birthday last weekend, but it was also an
Oh.
opportunity to celebrate a little bit of my birthday late. My birthday's the 18th, yours is the 23rd, and my partner's is the 22nd of May. So it's like within a week. And we went to San Diego. I think last episode when we talked about obsession, we were basically saying like, "Oh, we're gonna go on a hiatus for a trip," and then
Yeah.
now we're back, and that was amazing. I mean, there's always those like worries, and I can't really tell you. There's been quite a few family trips that have blown up in I wouldn't say my face because I was so young because we stopped taking family trips for a lot of reasons, but, like, in terms of, like, curated friend-based ones, I know there's, like, one that is kinda lived in infamy that I've only been made aware of after the fact of, like, a trip in the mountains that you guys took that didn't go very well. Um, uh,
Oh,
but I
yes.
guess, like, I to say that I was hesitant, there's few things here and there that I was a little worried about. I mean, like, when you're putting money in a trip, you're really hoping for the best bang for your buck. You're hoping for the most fun you can have. No one is going to be putting money into a trip to be downers, but as is life, shit happens. But pretty quickly, like, I think it was quite literally the moment we opened the door and saw how beautiful the Airbnb was, we're like,
Oh my god. Movie on my mind, Ocean's 12. We'll get back to that in a little bit, but come on now, that
and
Airbnb was
it
gorgeous.
and it's so funny because it was on, like, a residential street in we went to San Diego, and none of the other houses looked remotely like it, and in fact, like, across the street, a little bit to the right, there's, like, a huge skyscraper building that is being under construction, but, like, this was this old, beautiful home, and we were staying in, like, the guest house, which was, like, this two-story thing, it was 8 people, but no, the vibe was great, the substances were flowing in our bodies, we clubbed a lot, um I think the thing is like, though, I do realize, though, that, like, trips under 48 hours where, like, the prerogative is to party, you do come out of it and you're like, "Fuck, I wish it was longer." Like, I wish, like, we had more time to talk and there's plenty of chatter had, but, like, when you're under the influence, it's kinda difficult, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm hoping, I actually don't even know where the conversation originated towards the end of that party or the function, trip, whatever you wanna call it, but, like, the concept of, like, going to Yellowstone or, what's the other one? The other mountain?
About Alpine.
Not Alp I'm so sorry,
Fuck,
where you guys went, where you guys went,
Twin Peak?
not Twin Peak, the one that ended
Oh,
in
Joshua Tree?
Joshua Tree.
That's more the desert, though.
Sorry, desert, and actually, that's kind of where I was thinking too, because it's cheap, like, I even checked, like, there's some that are really beautiful for, like, 700 for 3 nights, and you can get up to 8 people, so it's like, I would love we're just hitting all the different biomes, and maybe that's just the way that you and me think. I call it coincidence as well, but, like, the moment that San Diego trip ended, you were telling me about, like, birthday bash, the sludge, what is it called?
The
GAC.
GAC,
But,
the
like,
Great American Challenge.
there is a little bit of a depressive spell, especially because then it makes me return back to my house with the people that, I've said on this pod many times, look straight through me that, like, the crash is big sometimes. Like, I have a whole day where I just wallow, like, I just hate it. I'm like, "What am I fucking doing?" Like, I wanna go back to doing something good away. But yeah.
Have you seen that Young Ho video? That Young Ho where she's like, "I love this shit so much."
Oh, no. No. As a liberal, I don't watch Young Ho. Outside of my liberal skin as an avatar, no, I haven't seen that Young Ho video, I'm
It's
so
awesome.
sorry.
She likes to party so much. I'm like her.
But yeah, no, it's been good. I've been recording a bunch. Funny enough, we're gonna be seeing a movie separate. We're seeing a baby in joint custody. But it makes me excited because I really do. I think like life is just gonna be life sometimes, and we're gonna have these moments. But like, I really because as badly as I wish we could have the element of surprise or, like, I could low key, like, shadow ban you on my letterbox so I don't see how what you log back rooms and then vice versa, like, I think it's really interesting to see, like, you rate a movie, but that's just the rating, but I know you, and it's not gonna be like, 3.5, yeah, it was good, you know?
I I think for backrooms, I can hold off until we talk about it. Obviously, this means absolutely nothing to the audience members that are listening in, but
Sure.
for our personal little thing, I can hold off. I have
It
no
it
grievances about that. 'Cause I mean, I've done that before with, fuck, what did we do that for? We, like, watched something
for
that
the sake of the pod?
yeah, I think so, and, like, I completely held off on rating it. until
Oh, well
after.
well, there was the In the Dark, technically, like, our
Oh,
introductory
sure, sure,
episode
sure.
where we were trying to surprise each other with the 3 movies we said to choose 1 from.
I think the bigger question with Backrooms, which obviously this isn't a Backrooms episode, but I guess in terms of like how that affects our dynamic with finding things out so quickly with from one another with like opinions and whatnot,
Mhm.
is I think that's a movie that's gonna be forced to simmer. I think like from what I've heard from early reactions and people who have already seen the film, it's gonna
Yeah.
cause the simmer, which we've talked about simmering a little bit on our Mother Mary
Yeah,
episode,
thanks to you.
thanks to moi.
Mhm.
Um, I think it'll be good. It'll be a good little surprise, and not that I think there's a reality where you go in loving it or hating it, and I come out the vice versa. But I do think like the fact that there is a potential for that fact that we go into an episode completely blind,
Yeah.
and I'm like, that was completely shallow and dull, and you're like, What?"
And I think given how we were going to play our cards, especially because what's gonna happen, like, next week and the stuff that we have planned there and just scheduling, it sounded like you correct me if I'm wrong, but we're like, "Okay, see I Love Boosters tonight, record the episode as we're doing, and then tomorrow or no, Friday, watch Backrooms and then record Friday as well." Am I tripping?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I mean,
And
theoretically, we wouldn't have to force record on a
would
Friday,
no,
but
but it's like, you I think we're both people that it's like, "Okay, you said that plan, I agree, great idea. Let's strike while the iron's hot and then stick to it." But from what I've heard, for the highest of praise to even the critiques, like, it is a movie that is at least doing things on a visual level, and we are very visually charged people where, like, text gets us to where we'll be quoting the one-liners and the moments in movies that hit us, but, like, from what it sounds like, I think Kane Parsons is such a very fascinating, visually prolific filmmaker, even at 20 years old. Like, he is doing shit, and like I'm hearing this movie's weird. And out of curiosity, like the short that he made is 9 minutes long on top of the stuff he built after. But like, I'm curious to see what 100 minutes does, and I'm excited. And I guess I also am bringing that up because it's kind of tying in a little bit to like partially what's been on my mind in terms of art lately.
sure. What's been on my mind is the fact that he didn't direct that fucking movie.
Really, who do you think did?
Charlie, fuck, Tyler Sheridan, Taylor
A
Sheridan,
Taylor Sheridan
director
Backrooms
of
would
the
have like cattle
Yellowstone,
ranches and like women. I think the whole thing right now is like
like Double D's.
no, I
Kane Carson, Kane Parsons, Double D's.
he's a minor dude. He literally
He's a
was out.
minor.
Yes.
Triple D's.
Uh,
I'm sorry, I'm Republican for this
oh,
episode.
she's stop! Stop it! Ah! But I will say, since I kind of already started, do you want me to kind of talk about a little bit of the art that's on my mind, and then you go?
Sure, even though it's my birthday episode.
Okay, what's the art on your mind, fella?
Kane Parsons didn't direct the fucking back rooms. That's on my mind. Ocean's 12.
Has that really been on your mind?
Yeah, we were talking about the entire fucking weekend because
Okay, well
it was at
that
like
was our friend bringing it up, and
sure,
then
but it made me reflect on how sexy Brad Pitt is, and I'm gonna
yeah,
use this part to inject the fact that I think Brad Pitt is sexy.
mm,
I don't care what anyone thinks. I
I
haven't watched shit since our last episode. I watched Mandalorian and Grogu, and I wanted to. I thought the Baby Yoda was sexy. Shout
okay.
out to my real goblin fuckers.
Okay, I was asking not in regards to as your other part is out in your hand right now.
Okay,
Um,
let me look at the music.
please, yeah, because I mean, look,
I haven't watched shit. I thought of Ocean's 12 and you fucking already judged me on that shit. Tune Yards did the score for the I Love Boosters movie that we're gonna be talking about. We'll talk about them later.
yeah,
Um, but besides that, I have actually,
hmm
and you might perk your ears up to this,
oh
been on a really big Portishead run. Do you know who Portishead is? That's your realm.
yeah, they have a track. Oh my gosh,
Give me a reason.
from what you call it, Alpha. Didn't they do a track for from Alpha? That's the one that you're referring to, no?
Give me a
I literally think
reason.
it is.
That album, Dummy, their debut.
That's the blue one, right? Like it has like
Yes.
yeah, fantastic
Trip
album.
Hop Legends. Terrific album, and it's very good. I play a lot of music in the back of my work sometimes, and it's pretty imperative that like I try to keep it clean most of the time. and I love finding an album I can play from front to back that's kind of a clean album, but it's also pretty effective in what it does and like a
Mhm.
sets a mood.
Sure.
I've been playing Portishead back there. It's been fucking awesome.
Has anyone been commenting on that?
No, no one gives a fuck. They all think I'm a freak. Um,
True.
what else? Shout out to finally listened to the full JPEG Mafia album.
Yeah.
Um, don't need to
Yeah.
talk about that too much, but let's just say that
Yeah.
JPEG Mafia, I'll always be your number one fan.
Oh.
They put some of this band called Cake Pop. It's like a collective that has the parts of Dylan Brady from 100 Gex in the mix. It's an older album, Cake Pop 2. They finally put it on streaming.
Okay.
Listen to Black Rum from that album. And then finally, the last thing I'll give a quick little note towards is been a little bit in my Lana Del Rey phase. That's kind of like a really
Oh.
gay thing for me to say because the gays love that stuff.
Technically, I think
The
you have an
gays love
out.
poppers and Lana Del Rey.
Sure. Wait, are you playing the role right now?
That's just the
You
truth.
said that a bit too like calmly.
Oh, the gays love Lana Del Rey and poppers.
Period.
There's an period. There's a song called Dark But Just a Game from her album Chemtrails Over the Country Club.
Okay.
Oh my god. That's all
Okay.
I'll say.
Well, I was gonna say that I think now is like the true time you can excuse it without trying to get into those gay antics as the Republican you are, because I think she just came out with the track for like the new 007 game.
She came out?
She's married to like the Gator guy.
And they do like Gator role play and stuff. And
Uh,
for
is that
books,
real?
there's a book that I own called A Single Man that I've been looking at the cover of every time I walk in the break room of my work that I want to read, but I watch Dead by Daylight instead. That's true.
Jason's broken.
Jason is broken, but
Jason's
we haven't
crazy.
played him yet, so maybe we shouldn't
Who's
come.
we? Oh, you and me, or you and your alters?
Me and the Republican Party.
Well, that's great. I always look forward to what you're listening to. I will
Fuck
say,
you. Have you listened to a single thing I fucking brought up? A single thing.
100,000%.
What?
I listened to the whole album that you recommended from Lip
What?
Critic.
From Lit Critic? It's awesome, right?
It's actually very, very good. Very,
Yeah.
very. I'll actually tell you some of the other things if I have them saved. Yeah. So Theft World, terrific. Samba, Jean Baptiste,
Yes,
terrific,
yes, I love him.
terrific.
Open up my eyes.
That's about it for right now.
Oh, sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Can I just say that we're actually recording this in the dark?
I think it's actually really nice.
It's a nice little vibe.
I like turn off the lights and getting frisky. So I have 3 artists I want to shout out. Now you can stop me if like you subconsciously told me about any of these in the past few episodes.
Last episode you did pretty good. I didn't hear about either of them.
So I'm gonna recommend 3. The one that I know you haven't recommended me because I found them like on Instagram. They have like 2,000 monthly listeners. Is a band called Rug, like
Rug.
lowercase RUG.
Okay.
Fantastic, fantastic band. So early in their career though, they like the only album they have has like 6 tracks on it. They just came out with a new track itself on it like late March called Caterpillar Girl. Fantastic.
They keep using they, or you keep using they
It's
pronouns.
just a band,
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Republican.
I
Don't
just want to
worry.
make sure.
Um, and then I don't know if you've ever actually. I'll recommend this other one, and the last one I'm almost certain you've heard of because they have a lot of monthly listeners, and it just sounds like a sound you would be aware of. The one I'll say before that is a group that only to my knowledge has one official album. Yeah, because it's mainly just singles. But they have an album that came out in 2024. The band is called Fat Evil Children. Um, the al- it is and the album is called Fat Evil Dogs, Fat Evil Cats, Fat Evil Bears, Fat Evil Rats. Um, the album itself is actually fucking exceptional. The
Okay.
way that it plays out, like the one track that I'll recommend is called Hatchet. So good.
Okay, I'll pop in
So
there. Yeah,
good.
that sounds awesome.
But then the last one, and I listened to it and it was a sort of kismet divinity where I was like, oh, Tyson has had to have heard this. You ever heard of a band called Racing Mount Pleasant?
No,
Really?
no, never.
So I that is like the true one that I was swept by. The track that I will say if we have like a sub series in this section right here of like shit we talk about, if there's a specific track, I will definitely put on. The album came out last year in August. It's called self-titled. But the track itself is called "Call It Easy." Unbelievable. The way that it cues in the saxophone towards the last 3 minutes. It sends shockwaves down my spine. And then for like movies on my mind, I would say that like I've been thinking a lot, like funny enough, through. So give me 30 seconds. Um, through film school, I've been like doing a lot of needed courses through like experimental filmmaking, and there is this filmmaker in the 40s called Maya Deren, and she was this feminist who created some of the craziest fucking experimental movies. Was basically the reason why like shit like the Frida exists. Shout out to Frida Cinema and Santa Ana.
Shout out, I guess.
um.
What do you mean she's a feminist?
Oh
What do you mean
no
by
no no.
that?
I minced my
Like
words. I'm so sorry.
she had like her period and stuff?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay, good.
As a liberal, I don't believe in that myself either. Um, and then a bit obviously, as your Republican ass is getting mad, I have been thinking a lot about Girl with the Dragon Tattoo because I rewatched it recently. Yes, I know, not with you in attendance. I'm so
I haven't
sorry.
seen that one.
We, I will try to find a time this week because I do think that is like episode worthy, like unequivocally so.
What?
Dragon Tattoo.
I want to talk about that bullshit.
You say that now.
I want to
You
talk about some like beef jerky and some like sausage
there's some
links.
boobies in that movie.
They're
There's
boobies?
the boobies. Not some Kane Parsons triple D's though.
Uh,
um, other than that though, just been kind of cruising. There is this crazy, like we've had those moments where we've been on call, haven't had them lately, but like where we find like a crazy movie that we've never heard of, and we're like, what is this? And out of morbid curiosity, we're like, I gotta check it out. There's this one movie that I started watching, which is actually like, what the fuck am I watching? It's called My Little Eye from 2002. Only 1,000 reviews, but it basically is like five young people apply to live in an isolated house together for 6 months, whilst their every move is filmed by numerous cameras in order to win $1 million. And the entire film takes place on those cameras. So, like in the way, like the teaser to prime time is like 20 minutes is just like four of the cameras. It's freaky.
it's
But
like
yeah,
Paranormal Activity
which one?
too.
Good answer.
Dude, I want to bring up something. Actually, when I called you yesterday and you didn't answer my phone call, that bummed me out.
I'm sorry.
But it was actually only for the fact that I was gonna talk about the fact that Obsession's still doing numbers, which congratulations to that whole thing, whatever. Paranormal
Mm-hmm.
Activity was made for $15,000 and it made $193 million.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
Like can you even like think about that for like
Well,
$15,000?
mhm.
So like 8% of Obsession's entire budget, which is already a cheap movie to make nowadays.
Yeah.
It made 193 million fucking dollars.
Yeah.
And then obviously there's like Blair Witch Project, $1 million budget, and it made 200 and whatever $1 million. Like what?
Are we sure it was a million though? Was it a mil?
The
I don't Blair Witch Project?
oh
I
maybe
don't.
it was 600,000.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
But
That's crazy though.
like fucking unreal.
Hmm.
Like I don't even know what I want to bring up, but like it's just like a crazy
No, I mean
fact.
the fact of the matter is the fact of the matter. I guess my curiosity to that whole situation would be, how did they go about? Because like I guess like I would be more curious about like the distribution pipeline back then till now because I don't even know the company that holds the rights to. Now I know it's Blumhouse, but like Blumhouse didn't even exist back then. Like Jason Blum was still in the womb with the amniotic
Bl-
fluid.
Blumhouse owns Paranormal Activity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm almost certain. Yeah, because
Why are they not doing anything with like the horror mazes at Universal then?
because you gotta. I guess like but I guess my question to you then would be, what is
Siri,
like?
who owns Paranormal Activity? Amazon, bitch. Dumbass. Fucking idiot.
Wait, what? That doesn't make any sense.
Why does Amazon own it?
But I don't think that's
What
actually. I don't think that's
they're
actually
gonna
right. Why would Amazon?
they're gonna mail me Paranormal
Does
Activity?
Amazon? No. Does Blumhouse own the rights to Paranormal Activity?
This is a Siri podcast.
Blumhouse does not. Oh. Say wallahi, bro. Say what? Well, I refrain and I apologize. I'm so
Anyways, my
sorry.
point is that it's fucking crazy, and shout out to Obsession, and that's also been on both our minds because it's an unavoidable plague. At my work, it's every day. It's the most normal day ever. Then it's like, well, fuck, we have an Obsession screening coming up, and then it's 200 young people. And what's crazy is about horror movies, and obviously in a theater setting, is most times a lot of teenagers try to sneak in. For some fucking god bewildering reason, no clue as to why, Obsession seems to be doing really well with the young adult crowd. No teenagers, we've had like no issues with teenagers trying to sneak into that movie. So it's just young adults going out of their way, paying with their own money to go watch this fuck ass fucking movie that's
Yeah.
fucking terrible and wasn't even directed by Curry Barker. It's probably like fucking shadow directed by Osgood or something.
I, I'm telling you, this is like the dawn of the dinosaurs. No, this is I. I really do think we're gonna look back on this. Like maybe this will reap some of the as I fuck your turtle meat shit is getting circumcised, bro. Get that shit out of here, dude. Um, I'm like actually both. No, I'm not gonna try to paint this as like a devil's advocate. Like, oh, I'm kind of cautiously optimistic. I'm very fucking optimistic. Like, this is crazy because like, yes, if you look at like the actual reports, Mandalorian and Grogu's obviously making like double what Obsession is, but no one is talking about it in a way where like this is the moment and like the du- I think there's a lot of things that are working in the favor that is outside of the film's control, like social media response, but also the fact that, like, Obsession and Backrooms are having this double bill back to back that just so happen to be directed by people in their young to mid-20s. Like, it is fucking crazy, and then, like, even just outside of that, there's that movie Is God Is, there's this horror movie called Saccharine, which is coming out that looks really interesting, like, again, we have said this maybe once every single fucking episode we've recorded, but, like, horror is in the most beautiful hands imaginable, and it is so sad to think that, like, I the it taking a step out of, like, the role play for a second, stop touching me. There is no reason outside of envy and yearning to have some sort of talent that these people have to frame this as some sort of thing that it isn't, which is these people are just talented as shit. Like, they got really lucky, but the luck was also predicated on their talent, and, I it makes me happy, like, not even in, like, a fucking, like, "Man, I'm fucking reeling in the back of my head," like, this is a net positive. Like, this, no matter what, is an inherent net positive, and it gets me geeked out of my mind, and yes, I agree.
And stepping back into the role play,
Uh-huh.
do they show Shaft and Girl Dragon Tattoo?
Yes, but not in a good way.
Oh, fuck. Okay, whatever. But yeah, shout out to horror. I think the studios are gonna take the wrong lessons from this, but at the end of the day, I'm happy for the crew and
You think
cast.
so? You think
I
so?
just think that it pushes this envelope that, man, they don't need that much money to make things successful, so let's not give them that much money. I really
But
think that
I don't think money was ever the like, for example, I actually was so wrong about how much I thought Backrooms was like $1 million budget, it's like
no,
8, like 8 to 10.
yeah, yeah, 10.
Um, but, like, I don't ever think and I think maybe that's the thing that I'm hopeful or wishfully thinking, I think they would have been just as fine doing it for 500 instead of 750 or 250 instead of 750 or a mil then versus 10 because like again we're gonna get a good more doors more opportunities potential for bad shit but like I don't think it ever is going to be about like a budgetary thing.
I don't know. I guess it just like I like the fact that they're taking risk on, like sketch artists or YouTube creators or whatever it may be, but it also feels as if like this is a clear example of we can make 150 million times our budget because this movie wasn't very expensive to make. And I think that horror films already have such a tough time getting funding. And like there's very rare cases of like horror movies with big budget funding. And it's because of movies like Obsession, which obviously I'm very glad that Obsession is succeeding, but at the same
Mhm.
time, it pushes this narrative that horror is a cheap genre and that doesn't need money. And that kind of sucks because we can see what great filmmakers can do with a large budget horror film. And on the same side of the coin, it's like, well, look what great filmmakers can do with a low budget horror film. Yes, I can see that. But also at the same time, it's like it doesn't incentivize these studios to take risk on these filmmakers like with larger budgets because they can see that audiences will kind of just scoop up something low budget.
See, and I will disagree, and I will say like there's things that like there's this. I actually just read it today that like it's actually kind of like one of the first times that any like Curry Barker for his I guess technically fourth movie, or I guess it could apply to the way he channels in the Texas Chainsaw. He's been given like a multi-million dollar deal for like his name. Like he could do whatever he wants and there will be a guaranteed $1 million for him. Now, if you're talking about like feature debuts, I guess I kind of understand, but like I've never seen horror as like the one genre that is predicated off of the budget and like you're saying like it isn't needed. But like horror is and has flourished in ways that I think like the bygone studio era used to by having the mid to lower budgets of like 10 to 20 million, which I guess is considered a lot. But like, I don't know. I think I'm excited. I'm very because after this we get the Gen Alpha, the Cocomelon AI movies,
Huh?
and that's
Oh, oh, oh.
because I that to me this is like I'm trying to suck all the nutrients out of the now because then it's like we're gonna have fucking people with construction degrees that are building Legos,
Can
like
I just say something though, real quick?
sure.
Andy Neveretti was a Twitch streamer before she was an actress. She was a Twitch streamer that streamed Call of Duty.
Question or statement?
That's a statement.
I don't okay. I
It,
saw clips of it. I didn't know if that was real
it's
or not.
it's so sick too. She's like getting kills and stuff.
More so pushing the narrative for why you live in Navaretti so much.
I live in Neveretti.
It
Also, on the
yeah.
same side of the coin,
Hmm.
I'm gonna do the next. I'm gonna do the next.
Take your time.
Fuck.
Take your
Fuck.
time.
A
This is your
transition.
what?
You said you're gonna be sucking the nutrients out of these movies. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be sucking the nutrients out of these movies like Lakeith Stanfield and I Love
You
Booster.
can't say that. You
Oh,
can't say
I
that.
can't.
Guys, he's lying. He's lying. He's lying. That's not a spoiler.
Oh shit.
But that's it. That okay. Okay. You know what? I can run with this. I'm like the hot potato. Okay, because I don't want to skip over the prompt to this question that I had for you today before we had even seen this movie.
But email us in at beneflicspod@gmail.com or
Yep. It,
don't forget that.
at 31 minutes, they're like so excited to see what we talk about next. The moment we plug the email, fuck these guys.
Who invited this guy?
But I went in because the only difference between you and me going into this episode is I have seen Boots Riley's feature debut, but that was so long ago that we're almost on the same exact playing field here.
Well, one of two differences.
What's the other?
I'm racist.
Bro.
I'm so good. I'm so good.
We're not. If Boots,
White claw in my hand.
no shot, this movie, because it's not doing well, so Boots Riley's definitely looking on the internet to repost shit. And we're 30 minutes in, and this guy is definitely fucking doxing
He's
us,
every
bro.
time we start talking about obsession, he's like, "Shut the fuck up."
But okay. I came into today with an anticipation for this movie, but more interestingly, the response that this movie has gotten rightfully has been resounding. Like the people that are all about pro art, in akin to a similar way of like a Verbinski's Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. Zany, weird, committed, at times fault filled, but man, go support it. But then there's this other pocket of the internet where there was videos of like people that took their parents to go see this, probably for maybe Kiki Palmer's stardom, maybe for the music or anything. And they came out of it and they're like, Mom, what'd you think? Worst movie I've ever seen. Dad, what'd you think? If it's a 0 to a 10, it's below a 0. And that sort of conversation has been either gaining a lot of traction for the obvious, like, clickbaity, like, immediate, like, "Oh, they hated it," buzzwords, but then, like, a lot of people were like, "Oh, this is the worst fucking movie I've ever seen." And I've seen Sorry to Bother You. There is a big moment in that movie where it's like, if you took the layman's person to watch it, they're castrating themselves in the theater.
Mm.
But it got me really curious to be like, "Okay, am I gonna go into this movie and come out of it and see what they're talking about or think they're absolutely crazy?" And to that even further, it had made me think of filmmakers because Boots Riley, deeply, deeply communist, very much anti-authoritarianism. He hates the system, dismantle it, power to the people. I'm all for it, 100,000%. And he makes that abundantly clear in his art, in his statements, social media presence. But I was curious to think though, would his stylings, would his eccentricities, would his flares and panache supersede and almost overtake the nucleus of this film's text. And it made me think to you if there's any filmmaker, and preferably, I would assume you're including only really movies that the filmmaker writes and directs, but if not, that's okay, where their style almost overrides the potency of what they're saying.
Yeah, for sure. So my first example is Jane Schoenbrunn.
Bro,
I'm
shut up.
just kidding.
Shut
It's so
up.
funny because we're not visual yet, but the audience doesn't know that you're wearing box braids. My first example is Quentin Tarantino. Yeah, Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. I don't
Uh-huh.
think Quentin Tarantino is an example of this. However, I can see many people arguing that this is an example of someone who he is so intrinsically tied to his style of homage and of grindhouse and of these more schlocky stylings that are popularized by the 70s and obviously 60s influence of older westerns and whatnot
Yeah.
that he puts into every one of his films, which, he makes no, he's not hush hush about. That's very much a core part of his character and his overall theme and style.
Mhm.
I think that hurts a lot of his films for some people. That they feel kind of samey in the way that he writes dialogue and the way he writes characters and the way he uses certain vernaculars and certain languages that
Mhm.
he kind of fits into this mold no matter what the time period is, no matter what the story is. And oftentimes it works well. And obviously he's a very critically acclaimed director. I'm someone who loves basically all of his films. But I mean, I've heard the complaint geared mostly towards films like Inglorious Bastards, where his intrinsic writing style and the way he portrays dialogue and the way he does certain things just kind of gets tiresome by the end of the long runtime.
Yeah.
Hateful Eight's a big example of this where we love that movie, but there are a lot of people that have an issue with that film entirely because of how it's written and because how they think that not much happens besides dialogue. And they know that Quentin likes to gush and likes to belly roll all in his own words and all of his own writing. And
Yeah.
because he's such a auteur in the sense where he has full control of his projects, he's writing, directing, and though he's not editing, he probably has a large control of the edit. I'd be shocked to find out that his editor is cutting large portions of the film that he doesn't want to also cut.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all that to say, I don't think it's a clear, like it's not an example for me of his style overwhelming his substance. However, because his substance is such at the whim of his style, because he's such a stylized director, some would argue the most stylized mainstream director,
Mhm.
I can very much see that being a clear example of someone who, because he's so geared to this idea of putting his films through like a theme and through like a filter of almost like a sense,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
can very much kill the story going aspects of it. And
Hmm.
that's a clear example too of one where I don't even think that it's entirely like his direction that does. I think it's a lot of part as his style as a writer,
Sure.
which I would say is maybe the opposite argument of a Boots Riley, who I would say that if someone has an issue with it inherently, it's because of his directing. But either way,
Sure. Okay. Was that like the because you said you had a couple? Or are we going band for band?
we can go band for band.
Okay. So I thought of two. Now I'm almost going to contradict the exact sort of things I was just saying, where I was like, I assume you're going to be talking about a director that also wrote the script, but this is going to be one that like kind of wasn't even really thinking about, but when I was driving to see you, hit me in my brain. Funny enough, the one of the only films he hasn't written, but I do think that his storytelling on a visual level overrides a film that I think would have been so much better given a different filmmaker entirely, Drive. And you can't really speak on it because you haven't seen it,
No, I'm fucking stupid.
but it's okay, you will. And I think you'll really dig it, but I do think that, like, he is trying to make something a lot more mainstream, and I'm not gonna say accessible, but, like, he really has this eye for dialogue, wordless moments where the exchanges are through the eyes, and I think that's where he really begins to understand with his composer, I believe it's Clint Mansell, what synth works and how to implement it, but it comes off feeling so vacant and hollow and as if it is trying to emulate rather than exist. And to me, it frustrates so much because I think the script in the hands of someone else, whether they would have done a revision or not, like I think it could have been aces where I come out of that movie just fine. So I think like that would be the one that comes to mind. Did you want me to go get my second one or
Well, I was just gonna say like I don't have much to ground stand on because I also don't agree with it, but people have made the same argument about like a Skinamarink. Like I don't know, like that's one where like the style is like basically the movie, and like to a sense like it
Mhm,
just completely consumes the substance, but at the
mhm.
same time the substance is kind of the style.
No,
Like you
without
watch a
fucking
Skin and
question.
Rink because of the way it is, not because of like the engrossing script.
Also, I don't know, did we shout out Heck in Obsession episode?
No, because that was after. I think we watched Heck after we recorded that
No,
episode.
you're actually so fucking right. Shout out fucking Heck.
Shout out
Like,
to Heck, it's
shout the fuck out to
been
Heck.
on the mind.
I'm sorry I got cancer. Um, okay, okay. The last one I wanted to say, and it's one that actually gets me like really fucking pissed because it's a movie that I really thought was going to be a hook, line, and sinker. Came out of it, and I was like, "Go fuck yourself." I could go on and on about certain Baz Luhrmann efforts, but unfortunately, I do like more of a Baz Luhrmann than I don't. But the one that like really gets to me, the one that like I'm like, no, there's no shot I'll ever have any sort of revisionism behind it, would be Blonde. A film that I because it's
Baz
adapting.
Luhrmann?
No, 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 no. I said I could go on a lot about Baz Luhrmann. That's the guy
Oh.
Andrew Dominic. He did the
Yeah,
assassination of
yeah, yeah.
Jesse
But
James.
that's why I was
No,
confused. I
no,
was
no.
like,
Yeah, sorry. I detest that movie. It's adapting a piece about Marilyn Monroe. I was gonna say Marilyn Manson, but I think Andrew Dominic, when trying to craft this story, because who it's Ana de Armas, right? I'm not tripping,
yes,
right?
yes.
Like it tries to sort of like do a story about the suffering that Marilyn Monroe went through as this idol, this icon that everyone loved and gushed. But I think he gets so lost in trying to make something dreamy, and it feels low key like from when I saw it, like it was fetishizing this woman, and almost like it felt very predatory to the struggle she was going through. And I think on a technical level, it is pretty outstanding. But like it is his sensibilities adapting a story, and I don't even wanna say, like, he adapted the book because 'cause I've never read the book, but it's not even like I think he adapted it wrong. I just think, like, he fundamentally either didn't get it or was just at odds with himself for adapting this inherently. Um,
Mm,
that movie fucking sucks, and it's, like, 3 hours long, like, I
that
couldn't do
movie's
it.
gangster.
You don't even believe that.
I don't fully believe that, but I kind of believe that because like that movie's so gangster, and it has that camera shot.
With the
Art,
waterfall?
well, that one's gangster, but the one where he's running up the stairs and camera's mounted to his body and looks all
I
pissed.
don't know.
And John F. Kennedy's in that movie.
And I was really fucking excited and so funny. Like I remember when that movie was coming out, everyone was like, "Ana de Armas is gonna be like an Oscar winner. She's taking home the Golden Trophy," and then she was in that movie with Ben Affleck when they were dating.
Dark
That
Waters.
that
That
looks.
movie's sick.
Uh,
That movie's so sick, and she got nominated for the Oscar like she deserved it.
I what happened to her, dude? What the fuck
What
happened to
happened
her?
to her? I made the One Wish Willow
Uh huh.
that she wouldn't succeed.
Really?
Yeah, I did,
You were like, I should have directed Blonde, but because I didn't, now I have the One Wish Willow.
and I'm gonna make it so she doesn't succeed.
But yes, all this to say, I just had that in mind, and you and me got some dinner, got some grub, had some beer, had a few small beers, and let's go see this movie. Now, do you want me to do the plot for I
Yeah,
Love?
you go. I did the plot last time,
Mm,
but you have to make sure you say in the set year, in the undisclosed year.
what do you set year? What does that mean?
Like you have to make sure you say that in the undisclosed year of I Love Boosters. That's how we're starting off every plot
In the,
synopsis.
is it okay? So in the what year? I'm so sorry. In the inventive year
Well, do you know the year?
that it was set within.
Yeah,
Is it modern?
I'll just say undisclosed. That's what I said. Say
Oh,
undisclosed.
wait, in the undisclosed year of where I Love Boosters takes place. That okay?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. You follow a group of women that are considered boosters. If you don't know what boosters are, they're people who steal clothes at the market price they're sold at, and then they take them, sell them for cheaper to communities and people that deserve them. And in doing so, they sort of come across this fashion conglomerate titan who is, let's just say, extorting labor and is the greedy asshole that so many people are. And they decide to get back at her. That's it. In the undisclosed year of Boots Riley narrative.
Yeah, it's also important to note they're all minorities.
Bro, oh my
Fuck,
fucking god.
sorry.
Bro, we're gonna get banned.
We're 45 minutes in.
We are. But all this to say, that is the plot of this movie. And I will say off the bat, is it okay if I go first?
Of course,
Fuck your birthday. Your
you're beautiful.
birthday's over.
You're beautiful.
Thank you. If you have anything, any interest, no interest, some interest, any of it, I would say off the jump, go support this movie off the elevator pitch that I just gave you because I think I can pretty confidently, not even halfway through this year, say I don't think a movie is going to be merely as original as this. Maybe Jane Schoenbrunn can prove otherwise, but I think on a pure form level, this movie is incorporating like 10 different sort of aesthetics and styles that like have different departments that are like slushy crew. Like they're putting everything into this fucking
The
sink,
slushy
dude.
crew.
And whether it all worked for me or didn't, I'm gonna get to that in a second. I love the fact though that in the Big 26, I hope it never stops. I hope the world never ends. But more importantly, I hope that art never stops surprising me. And this means absolutely nothing to you, but and I know I can't say it to your Republican brain, but, like, this is the closest thing I have felt to an acid trip in terms of how much it is leaning into all these different, like, rigid, sort of incomplete, but so fully committed aesthetics akin to what Vera Drew did with The People's Joker. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I had to bring up some transmedia. No, no,
Vera Drew.
no.
Is that a real
It
name?
it is her real name, but I came out of this movie as a kid who would kinda step foot. You ever been did you ever growing up have a place that you went to called It's Sugar?
What?
Like a candy store. It was a uh, if for anything, think of a candy store that has, like, those like, you scoop them into bags and they weigh them. You know, like, you get, like, random candies and you scoop them into a little, like, bag and then you,
And
like
that's why they charge you?
exactly.
Sure.
Getting out of I Love Boosters feels like you are taking all the different colorful candy that you wanted as a kid, that your eyes were glistening over. You weigh it. It's a little expensive, but you pay it, you eat it, you're in love with it. The flavors combinations don't always match, and when you come out of it, you feel a little sick, but holy fuck, it was great. It was great. And everyone's so hot in this movie, and I think, like, where I think, like, funny enough, this feels like the good sibling to what Alex Garland and Ray Mendoza were trying to cook up with Warfare, where, like,
What?
the
What the fuck? No shot.
oh,
Please
so
tell me.
that's where your Republican brain draws the line.
I don't even think you could have bet me money to see that comparison
I was trying to see if you're actually gonna double down on your Republican brain. I
through.
think for what this movie's trying to say and for where Boots Riley stands as an individual on a political level, this is such clearly through and through a Boots Riley joint. And I actually know. Did you ever listen to any of his music, like when he was a musician?
I don't give a fuck.
Okay, okay. But I have not known anything prior to Boots Riley being the filmmaker of Sorry to Bother You, Then You Did I Am Virgo, and now this. But he's always saying and doing something at quite literally every single turn. And for better and for worse, for every joke that didn't hit, I was just vibing with it. Do I think it will land on rewatches as much? Probably not. But it's also a movie that I don't think you need to rewatch, but you at least at the bare minimum should support in some sort of capacity or another. I thoroughly fucking enjoyed it. What did you think?
You're done yapping your fucking lips.
As you're laid in bed, curled up like a
It's so dark
sandworm?
in here. I'm sleepy.
It is so nice. I love it.
Um,
You can turn the donut on if you want.
the donut. Turn the donut on.
All right, turn the donut on.
Woo. Okay, donut's on. I love boosters. I didn't. I was actually really excited from the first trailer that dropped. I thought the soundtrack was bumping. I thought the shots that we were getting were interesting. And then the receptions were coming through. Shout out to Film Bro Sway, our guy,
As you throw up.
to blow my bed. Um, the film was really connecting with people in a lot of different ways, and it seemed like it was more. than just I really enjoyed this film, but it stemmed from a fact of like this was like a powerful moment in filmmaking. Now, watching the film, I can very much understand that sentiment and understand that feeling because truthfully, I can't even clown midway through, I was like, "This is, like, really cool to see, like, firsthand, like, to see something that's wholly original,
Mhm.
very different, taking a lot of risks, some paying off, some not." That's exciting, and that's what art's all about, right? Like,
Yeah.
in a lot of senses, you can kind of look at the best films ever made and see that, like, they are perfectly fine-tuned and they're engineered to be so like an engine, like they run good, and they're gonna get you to where you wanna go, and they're gonna do it efficiently, right?
Yeah.
There's, like, a certain veneer to the best filmmakers that we have, whether that's, like, a Scorsese or a Fincher,
Sure.
but there is always a specialty, especially with you and I, with our favorite films, which they're not inherently perfect, not in a sense where, like, they have these glaring issues that we just tend to overlook, but, like, there is a sense of, like, loosey-goosiness or messiness that really add to the experience
Brother,
for
yeah,
us.
you've talked to me about how you don't even really fuck with the first half of Signs. Like, not that you think it's bad, but it's, like,
Yeah.
in a tempo that you're not really vibing with.
And then that s 2 last 2/3 hit, I'm eating up like
E
dog chow.
exactly.
I say that all to say that it's really cool to see art in real time being made that has this very messy quality to it, and I Love Boosters is no different. It's funny that you bring up Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die earlier because I do kind of get a very similar vibe in the sense of it's saying a lot, it's very in your face about it. The movie knows it's in your face about it, and it kinda adds to the appeal of it.
Mhm.
Granted, both films are about very 2 different things, both very
Yeah.
much centered on, like, authoritarian capitalism in a lot of different senses, more so on the I Love Booster side, that's much more in the forefront.
Yeah.
But all that to say, I also really enjoyed this film. Do I think it's excellent? No. I think that that last third is super disjointed and super messy and honestly kind of incoherent a lot of the time, and it doesn't
Sure.
fully work. Emotionally, this movie just does not hit for me, which it's hard to tell if that was the goal or if it wasn't. Either way, what I can say though is that visually, artistically, sonically, editing wise, there's always something different being pumped into this film when I think that it's gonna, give me what I've anything I could have seen prior in the first 30 minutes, it throws something new into the mix 15 minutes later, 10 minutes later. And that's really cool to see is the fact that you can see a film kind of folding on top of itself. Like there
Mhm.
are certain visuals that you can kind of imagine in your brain how was that done behind the scenes. But then there's other ones where it's like even if you try to begin to imagine how it could have been done, it's still really cool that they pulled it off and especially how they pulled it off so well.
Yeah.
I saw this clip of I can't even pronounce his name. You got to help me out. The
Yeah, I
lead
got you.
actor to Backrooms.
Oh, Chitawell Ejiofor.
Yes, I'm not gonna even try that.
It's okay.
He was talking in an interview about the Children of Men scene in the car, the one take, the one that everyone
Oh, I
knows from that
forgot, yeah,
movie,
he's in that movie.
which is one of the best scenes of all time. I think that scene is superbly made, fantastically done, and there was this big kind of conversation about this idea of like you when you're watching it, it seems so impossible to be done that it kind of tricks your brain. You just kind of forget that like it has to be made like a movie. Like you kind of just think that like that's how it is, but you forget that there's an actual process behind
Mm.
that. Like there are
Mm.
actual technical things going on behind the screen because it is so logistically out of your comfort zone that you just kind of forget that that's like a practical thing that has to be done. I Love Boosters is the exact opposite, where, like, you're seeing a lot of these things be done, you're like you can tell that there's a production behind it, that there's a behind the scenes behind it, there's, like, a certain quality to its messiness and also its imperfection, but that adds to the quirkiness and the charm of it.
I 100,000%.
There's a lot of, like I mean, I don't wanna spoil too much, but there's a lot of, like, stop motion aspects to this film that, yes, you can tell that it's stop motion, but I don't think the film pretends to hide the fact that it's a all part of its style, it's all at service for, like, this very cool feeling experience. Like, I don't know, I think this is a film that, like, more than any other film this year, like, be out before Obsession, before, like, Ascend Hell, before a Bone Temple, like, I truly think this is a film that every single person should watch, not only because of the inherently potent political message that it's pushing, which I very much in agreeance am in agreeance of,
Yeah.
outside of my very Republican character, as I am. But at the same time, it's so cool. Like it's just a cool movie to watch and to experience. And it's doing so many quirky, wacky things that sometimes don't work, sometimes work super, super well. But at the end of the day, like it's all trial and error with film, right? Like just
Yeah.
throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. We brought up Alien 3 today. Kind of the same example. Alien 3 was doing shit that just let's see what works. And I think Boots Riley's in that same category. Granted, have not seen Sorry to Bother You. I have not seen I Am Virgo.
Yeah, I'm a Virgo. That
I'm a
it's like a
Virgo.
6, 8 episode miniseries. I've never seen it either.
I'd love to check him out because I think that he's a filmmaker that not only has a very important message to push and that has like very core idealistic beliefs that are integral to making art on a wide stage, platform like film is. But at the same time, he just seems like a filmmaker that is having fun with the process.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of behind the scenes, things from this movie. It just seems like a lot of fun to be like, "Hey, like, I'm a director and, you guys are gonna help me take on my vision, but we're gonna make this, like, as interactive and as, like, in character as possible."
Mhm.
From the sets, from the costumes, from the makeup, it's just so inventive and colorful and wild. A lot of people will compare this to, like, a Tim Burton or, like, a Henry Selick mix, which
Yeah.
I can very much see that style, but, like, it feels very much like he's taking these vague eccentric isms of a Tim Burton or a Henry Selick and making it into his own wildly inventive vision that is
Yeah.
also extremely politically poignant. I don't think there's many filmmakers that are doing both at the same time.
No.
So I can truthfully say, like, I really, really did enjoy this film. Do I have any urge to revisit it? Not really. Will I revisit it? Probably not.
Mhm.
Will it even probably rank in, like, my top 15, top 20 of the year by the end of it? Probably not, but I will say that, like, the fact that a movie like this is getting funded, the fact that you can watch this at a theater that we saw, which is not like an art house theater, it's a pretty general
Yeah.
theater to go
Yeah.
watch it at, full show times, there was surprisingly someone in the audience with us, which is cool.
Mhm.
That's
At a late
exciting.
showtime
At a late
on a weekday.
showtime on a weekday, on a Wednesday. People don't
Mhm.
watch movies on Wednesdays. That's cool. Um, so yeah, I mean, I know you already said it, but I push the same message. Like, if you have any sort of free time, and it should be hopefully playing around you, go watch I Love Boosters because I think that you're gonna get an experience that is like completely inventive, but also wildly just like impressive. Like, it's impressive that it was pulled off to the degree that it was.
Fuck yeah. I brought up earlier when I was like, would I wind up agreeing with with the families and the people that are saying it's like the worst movie ever? And I think like there's so many moments I can pinpoint that is going to melt your brain to absolute grated cheese if you don't really go see movies very
Oh,
often.
for surely.
Primarily a moment that involves Lakeith Stanfield. And I think to me, it's funny because I I never thought I would actually use this term for none of the attributes that the term stands for, but I came out of I Love Boosters feeling cozy because it's like watching an artist make something unveiled before your eyes, and it's rough and it feels incomplete at times, but its completion is through the effort and like it's to where like as I was experiencing the only thing that I will say on a technical level that I was like, okay, this is rough, but not because of budgetary limitations. Like it felt like an error. I felt like the ADR work and the sound like of the actors and their dialogue
Yeah, I
what
caught that.
it felt like it wasn't balancing the score enough with what was being said, and there's so much going on. But even then, I was so swept up by all these technical things, like knowing that the same costume designer who did this movie did Everything Everywhere All at Once kind of like
Really?
makes exact sense to
Yeah,
me. And
actually, yeah.
you hit it on the nail when like and funny enough, this being right after we watched Obsession and doing our episodes, two films that I haven't thought or seen in recent memory have so much behind the scenes clips, moments that are getting not only are showing the craft of filmmaking unveiled before people on social media's eyes, but is getting people like jazzed. Like all the shit that this movie's doing, where they're throwing fucking clothes out of these huge launchers or sets that are rotating, and it's the kind of thing that like on a funding level, on an existence level, on a statement level, it's the thing that like no, there is several films that I would put above it, but like to play the ranking game would be unfair because at the end of the day, it's just like go exchange. views with people, go bask and serenade in a movie that is meant to be experienced. And like, I think everyone in this movie is so great. It's funny because like Taylor Page is so odd to me because I've only seen 3 movies that they've been in, but these 3 movies are so fucking bizarro, you know? Like,
This Zola
and The
and
Toxic Avenger.
I forgot she's in the fucking Toxic Event. That's why you brought that up
Yes,
earlier?
yes. Baby,
Oh,
and that's like, but like, no matter what, like, I don't know if it's an Asian thing. I don't know if it's like
a
Taylor
her
Page
thing.
just got like that dog in her, but like, even someone like Kiki Palmer is so willing to step up to the plate, and it's like you have Naomi Aki who just like ace after ace after ace. She is so commanding. Isa Gonzalez, everyone is just so gorgeous in the movie.
Naomi Aki's low-key creeping up. She's kind of been like the sneaker in a lot of really great things recently. I mean, whether it's Mickey 17 or
Sorry,
Sorry
baby.
Baby or this, like she's
She's
a
great.
very, very, very talented actress, and she has such a command on screen for sure.
And it's something, and I really blink twice. Like, are we fucking serious?
Yeah, she's phenomenal in
Is
Blink
it-
Twice.
And I'm really okay. I really hope like I'm not saying something that sounds outlandish here, but like I look at I wish Hollywood wasn't so hinged on people's physical appearance, but like Naomi Ackie has, like, that gap in her teeth that is, like,
Sure.
pretty pronounced to a point where, like, it affects her speech, and I think it's awesome, I think it's a great quality, but, like, she is so good, and I could only imagine, maybe I'm totally wrong, but all the things that she has faced on an adversity level through just that simple thing alone, but every single thing, whether she is the friend to Eva Victor or I think well, no, she's so good in Blink Twice. But there's something about the way that Bong Joon-ho wrote her character, but the way that she steps up to the plate in Mickey 17, and maybe it's the convention that I was expecting for waiting for the other shoe to drop in that movie, but, like,
Pong Joon-ho.
the go. Just yeah, man, I'm just, like I'm really appreciative of this movie, and it's the sort of thing where maybe the shiny veneer would wash off on a rewatch, but one thing is for certain, and, like, it's the fact that, like, Boots Riley put like and for some reason I'm imagining he has like those he wrote this with a scented pencil. I know he did, like the ones you like exchange in
Oh, it's
kindergarten.
like grape flavored.
Grapefruit,
Grapefruit.
without question. And like he just seems like such a down to earth individual. And do I wish the world was different to where you didn't have to make a statement piece like this or wrap it in the ways that you do? Sure, but like Boots Riley is so fucking just interesting and hitting all these different notes at every different turn. And color me, there's moments where I was laughing my fucking ass off. Like, what is happening?
Yeah,
And honestly, like, I'm okay with never rewatching it. And that sounds really bad. And I hope you know that like neither of us are saying this in any sort of backhanded way. I don't. I have heard this take said by a lot of people that I actually could not disagree with more. Where they're like, "Oh, rewatchability plays into my overall view of a movie." You cannot tell me that the zone of interest exists to be rewatched. You're fucking well, technically I rewatched it. We're fucking weird.
I've seen that 4 times.
Oh, yes, and you own it. Um, but like there's certain pieces of art that I will never in my life watch. But then there's things like obviously in the same vein, one of my favorite movies is Celebration. I rewound it the moment I finished it, and someone could be like, "How could you watch something so humanly disgusting?" Um,
Sure. I mean, I don't think an artist, like, I think most filmmakers who make something very powerful and something
mhm.
personal to them are not sitting there being like, and this one's for the second watch, and this
Yeah.
one, and if you want a second watch, you're gonna pick up on these details. I think honestly, like, it's kind of like the same logic as the artists that are begging for streams on like their social medias, like, go stream that shit. It's kind of like the same process of if a filmmaker is being like, just wait till you see what it has in store for you on a second, on a revisit,
Mhm.
then it's like maybe you didn't make something as powerful as you should have. Because I
It's so
think that
true.
if it hits you on an emotional level, if it hits you on like a thought based level on a first watch, then it's doing its job. And I think that Boots Riley did that with this film. I think that if you watch it once and you feel that static power and you're able to trap that and say, I'm okay with this only existing in this bottle, but it's
Mhm.
going to always exist in this very fairy godmother image in my mind because I'm only seen it once.
Yeah.
Let it exist like that. There's no point in ruining something good. I'm not, and that's only with the assumption that I'll rewatch it ruins it. Maybe it'll make it better. But For the most part, I think that I got everything this film wants me to get out of it on a first watch. I
Mhm.
was very impressed. Shout out to Demi Moore. You're not a one-trick pony.
True,
I'm
true.
not well versed in your older stuff. I thought you were just a kind of a prop in the substance, but you kind of got the sauce. I like the character that you play in this one. And my line is always open. I can always use a sugar mommy.
Mm, and shout out to the composers. What's their names?
William Poulter. What?
What?
No, I'm just messing with
No!
you.
Shout out to Will Poulter, though. Love
Yeah,
him and everything.
yeah, he's gay.
I found out that they composed all of his stuff. So
Oh,
if
Tune Yards produced
yeah,
or
sorry to
composed?
bother you. I'm a Virgo. Yeah, didn't
Shout out
know that.
Tune Yards. Tune Yards. Two white people making gangster music.
That's actually kind of crazy. Like I'm shocked. That is not at all who I thought you were going to show me and unveil. Like it's a reveal. And I one of the beauties in you you were asking me earlier before we saw the movie of like if two people hate each other on a podcast, could that be bled through? And I think like one of the things that like I have always loved so much about what this is and how it exists is like, when I kill you, I get to listen back to like our dynamic.
True.
But more importantly, I think it's so awesome to just be wrong sometimes. And like whenever I will in years from now listen back on this and the hypothetical off chance that like I'm like, oh, this fucking idiot, because like I have like that logged more times than the bones and all hyperfixation person on Letterbox, Like I've seen I Love Booster so much. And the summation of it is found in Obsession. An entirely different review would have been had if we had like hit record after we watched it at the movie theater because I would have been singing its praises, but there's no shot I would have foreseen how much I would have been thinking about it on an individual level. And this film gives you a lot to chew on. It is such a visual splendor, and if you just like fucking art, like there is at least 50 different types of paintings that Boots Riley is crafting with all these different canvases and brushes that it's going to it's bound to at least hit a single chord for you.
I agree. I don't think we should count out the fact that we are recording this at one point in our lives and does not categorize our whole lives.
Exactly. So again, for every fault we have of a movie, and I'm not trying to speak down to you guys, but I do want to reaffirm here or like just reinstate that like a flaw that we have may not even be a flaw that we have later in life. So because it's an issue that we have for a movie, obviously go form your own fucking opinion. I'm assuming you are as an adult, but also shit changes. I'm curious to see like for any of the stuff we've talked about up until now, like would I be disagreeing on much of any of it? You know?
Yeah, I will say like there is a level because like there's been films like what if we walked down and just recorded an episode on warfare and you would live in forever infamy knowing that like you were like that movie's like not bad, it was actually pretty good.
No, and
And like The Flash.
no,
Hit record after The
the
Flash.
two words you just said to me is getting me actually nauseous. I I actually emailed. I have this podcast. If you guys are listening, shout out to the Only Movie Podcast. That's literally what they're called. Two friends, Matt and Shahir, big inspirations for why we're doing this. I emailed them asking if they were able to ever revisit a movie that they recorded on their podcast. Would they do it? Because they have evolved opinions.
Yeah.
And like they were like, "Oh, that's a fantastic question. I hadn't even really thought about it." And they kind of came to this thought of like they would only really want to do it if like it really meant that when they recorded it they were truly different people than they are now and like
Yeah.
that then informing how they feel about it. And like I think that is just like time will tell. I It's so funny because like we have already experienced that in a little blip of our life with like I don't want to speak on your behalf, but I'm almost certain when we rewatch Collateral, you're gonna have a very different view than just a 3.5. It was good, you know. Like I think like I'll be tickling your sphincter hole.
And when we
Don't.
rewatched Dougal,
Oh, I've never seen Dougal,
when I
dog.
rewatched Dougal,
Would our good friend Mads on the pod fall asleep again?
she can't make it do it. It's like a curse on her body.
No, exactly.
I think there's an inherent potence to recording something at a still moment in time and then You can revisit it later in life and be like, well, I was a fucking idiot back then. I was a Republican back then. Now I've seen
You're
the
evangelized.
error of my ways, and now I've been a reformed individual.
As you should. As you fucking should. But yes, everyone, if you haven't already, well, first and foremost, email us in at beneflickspot@gmail.com.
Can you motherfuckers just do it? Like, just email us in at
Well, okay,
beneflicspod.
hold on, because
Ask me what my shoe size. Can you guess? Can you guys guess my shoe size?
barbaric 13 and a half.
Guess in the emails.
I we don't need it, as you can clearly and evidently tell. We are it would be so depressing though if like we started our first episode at an hour and a half and like we slowly have trickled down and now it's like 20
And
minutes,
then
you
we're
know?
like, please email us
Please,
in,
please. And we're
please.
like, oh, dude, are you hungry? And you're like, yeah. And you're like, I got pizza rolls in the back. And then we put the mics down, we go downstairs for 20 minutes and we pick it back up,
But
you
you
know?
never edit it out so it can maintain the
No,
runtime.
100 because I no longer care. But yeah, like we've ebbed and flowed with runtimes, but it has never truly been about it. And like if I felt like we really were saying absolutely nothing in episodes, I don't think I would upload it. I would just put in like a video of us AI'd or something. But yes, email us in. Follow us on all of our socials. It is in the description, both of our letterboxes, my Instagram, my TikTok, my YouTube, my non ASMR stuff, my ASMR stuff. You guys are not going to be disappointed. I'm almost certain that our next episode is going to be Backrooms. Like I think kind of has to be.
Yeah,
Um
with the big guy.
let's do a little game real quick. What do you think the gist of the episode is going to be deduced to in like 2 sentences?
You're gonna say I can overlook any of the errors that I can potentially have with the script and any other practical stuff because this is wildly the most visually interesting and experimental film that we're gonna get on a wide range that's gonna make this much money in a very long time. And
Hmm.
I'm gonna sit here and say, oh, I have to pee so bad. I have to pee so
And
bad.
I'm gonna say, I'm sorry. Okay, my friends, I love you guys so abundantly. You all matter to me, mean the world. If you haven't already, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We release a video every Friday. All our links are in the description. Email us at beneflicspot@gmail.com. If you boost this fucking channel. We love you guys so much.
Please don't cry and please don't yell. Also, make sure to hit that bell.
Did you just come up with that right now?